My name's Chris Quinlan, Melbourne Muso's The Drum Show. What I want to do here amongst all the racket is talk a little bit about sticks again, like I did last episode. I'd like to talk about skins a little bit, Evans drum skins, but sticks as applied to cymbals, you see. And I've been talking about that a little bit, but I just want to talk about tones and things like that. Now, what happens? I've just finished doing a segment about the way sticks react, in this particular case, with cymbals, okay? So what happens is that a different tip will give you a different sound and all that. So I just want to reiterate, because it's important, okay? It's not just a plug for sticks and cymbals, it's actually a bit of a lesson. And a tip is that if you're going into a drum shop to buy a set of cymbals, make sure you take your favourite stick, okay? Because if I'm using this particular stick, which is the Anton Fig signature drumstick, but this one has active grip, okay? So I'll get my little roving camera on that. There it is there. Focus, focus, there it is. It's essentially an extended 5B with a short taper and a large round tip. Now that affects, I'll put that back, and that affects the way the cymbal sounds, right? Bold and brassy is how I would describe that. It's terrific. It makes me play a certain way. Now, here's something else. If you have a look, I'll take it off. You've got an O-ring, okay, and there it is there. You see, a little O-ring. And what that does is it stops the vibration. Now, I've been going up the stick. Now, what I've also done is if you get caught without an O-ring, just use a rubber band and to stop that, and place it on the fulcrum if you have slipping sticks. But this is what this active grip is all about, because it's got this special compound that if you do start to perspire, it gets a bit tacky, you see, a little bit like my humour. And what goes on, I'm moving right along there, the O-rings help, you see. Now, when I'm playing with these sticks, they have an extended reach because I have a fairly extended drum kit here, okay? Now, that's what I mean by bold and brassy. You notice that I'm coming back to these three minor cymbals here. 16-inch, 18 and a 20 Meinl Byzance extra dry crashes. I can almost take requests. I don't know if I can do happy birthday. I think I need an extra note or two. But what happens is you've got a thematic kind of thing. Over here you've got the 14-inch hi-hats of the same type, extra dry. I actually use this set on my other drum kit, the PDP Concept, which I also love, and I use them as my main hats for that. So I've got the extra dry set when I use that drum kit when I'm going out and gigging. But the thing about it is, listen to the tones of the Anton Fig stick with the large round tip. Then I'll move across to, what am I moving across to? I'll go across to the, the Dame Evelyn Glennie stick. It's also, it's a funny thing, because the Anton Fig sticks are 0.595 mil in diameter, which is equivalent to a 5B. but because it's 16 3/4 inches, it makes for a large stick, and the round tip, bold and brassy. Now I'm going to go across to the Evelyn Glennie stick, which is actually thicker, right? It's a 630. It's equivalent to a 2B, except it's got a very long taper, okay? Now, I went overboard with, I shouldn't say overboard, I went over the top with my appreciation of this wonderful lady, Dame Evelyn Glennie. And this is her concert stick. She is a classical percussionist who happens to be profoundly deaf. And she's incredible. Just go check her out. But what I'm getting at is with the sticks, a long taper and a much smaller tip. Listen to the difference. When you're crushing, obviously not much difference there. But when you're actually doing little figures like that, you can tell the difference between this one and the Anton Fig. If I go to my go-to sticks, which is the SD7s, oh, sticks everywhere, boy oh boy, I need a cataloguing system. What happens is that this is a different sound again because of the tip, you see. Let me get my roving camera for this. There it is. It's an SD7 Pro Mark. It's the taper is not quite as long as the Evelyn Glennie, and the tip is, I think it's the same. Yes, it is. Okay, the same kind of tip. Let me just check. There you go. Yep, same kind of tip. Okay. But the taper is a bit different, plus you have the mallet on the end. Now, with this, the mallet end gives it a little bit more of a counterbalance for your fulcrum kind of ideas here, do you see? So, and then when you turn it around, now this is what I explained last episode. Fulcrum changes somewhat. Change again if you go match click. Now, rim shots. What happens is when you're playing a rim shot, the first thing you're thinking of is like heavy backbeat, you know, big band, you know. Something like that, perhaps. But don't forget, rim shots are everywhere. Concert music. Get jazz. And the thing about a rim shot, it depends on where on the stick you actually hit the rim, okay? Because if you go to, say, right full, this is a little bit extreme, but let me... Ay caramba! Okay, and this is an Evans UV1 head, one of the new ones. They're brilliant, by the way. I've done another segment on them, sort of thing, but they're an incredibly resilient head, brilliant stuff. But let me get back to the rim shots. Now, this is a fairly live ringy drum. This is a DW stainless steel. It's beautiful. It's my main drum. 14 by 6.5, okay, with the Evans UV1 head and a big Rimshot almost to where the fulcrum is, just short of it, so it's big and full. Now, let me just do this. Oh, pardon me. Watch me come back on it. Now, all of that can be used. Now, if I'm playing, say, in a sort of a trad jazz kind of a style, now, that's also a New Orleans kind of second line style, isn't it? So, what am I talking about with this episode? What I'm going on about is the different tapers of a stick combined with the kind of rim shot you want, okay, can give you many different styles depending on whatever. There you go. Before I go to a break, I might do something a little bit Latin-y. Now, all of this sort of business here, that was a little bit of a rumba. What it is with those kinds of things is you've got to... You're using the heel of your palm to mute the drum, a snare drum in this particular case. And then what happens is that you can adjust, I call it the bark of the Rimshot. There we are. Okay, so a little bit more after the break. I went off on a tangent there just to show you some of the different things you can do with a stick. I went Latin with a multi-stick with a mallet on the end. So when I went to the tom-tom, it gave me a little bit of a different kind of sound and all that. That's something you can do with these kinds of particular sticks. More after the break, hey? No worry.